We have another Div Cup finals to talk about, but first I want to talk about, is Fortnite dying? A lot of people freaking out right now. Player base is down, view count is down. Pete's saying he's burnt out, he's quitting streaming again. I want to address the topic, but don't worry, it won't be the entire video. We've got so much to break down from the Div Cup finals. Mongraal qualifying to finals this week. Mr. Savage not qualifying. He has now gone through another duo. There's a lot to talk about. Let's jump into it. I suck at mobile video games. I'm happy to admit it. If any of you guys have had the displeasure of watching me play a mobile video game, you already know. I just don't get how you guys have the dexterity to aim, especially if you're playing Fortnite, building, aiming, everything else on top on a mobile device. But that is where the sponsor of today's video comes in. Huge shout out to Razer for sending me the new Razer Kishi V3 Pro XL. I can hook up my Samsung Fold or mobile phone to this and play Fortnite on mobile, and I finally don't suck as much. This thing is an absolute game changer, not only fitting mobile phones, but also tablets up to 13 inches. It has regular controls that I actually can use and even has bonus buttons on the back. It took seconds to set up and use, and I can even stream games from my PC using the Razer Nexus app or GeForce Now. So if you play any mobile games or you're looking to get into it, I highly recommend picking up a Razer Kishi V3 Pro XL. You can click the link in the description down below, and don't forget to use my code Aussie5 at checkout for 5% off. Before I talk about duos, I want to talk about a topic you've probably heard a lot at the moment. Is Fortnite dying? Oh my gosh, this season's terrible. Viewership is down. This person's fallen off. And this is not going to be a whole Fortnite we need to talk video, don't worry. But there is this clip from Peterbot that's gone around that's got a lot of people talking about this season and saying the game sucks right now. This is Pete's opinion on Fortnite right now.
You need to make this game fun again. Because God, this is terrible. I don't think you can name one person that's having fun right now. Even in the last one, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even have a mask. Even in the like Mythic season last one, it was not fun at all. That shit was like, genuinely miserable.
Why are you lying, bro? You had everything. You're having a blast.
I had everything, but I was still miserable. The game is not fun. The most fun thing for me right now is solos, because I just shit all over everyone because there's 1v1s, max 1v1s every game.
Alright, bro. Tell Fortnite
Prime City
Fortnite
is
great
peak
again.
Fortnite. That's fun.
You got a one-pump gun. Like what?
This came after Peterbot ended his stream saying that he won't be streaming for the next few days until solos now. He's ended his streaming streak, which almost made it 30 days, which is kind of crazy. But I want to talk about this topic because a lot of people are freaking out about it. Is Fortnite dying? This season sucks. Oh my God, the game's in the bin. No. This is the normal stuff that happens every year. I've done this too many times before. And in the past, I would have freaked out. Oh my gosh, views are down. Player base is down. Oh my God, the game is falling off. This is it. This is the end. But no, it's the end of a chapter at the end of what is a long season after Globals, which is extremely hyped. All the pros are burnt out and Fortnite's trying a bunch of stuff. You know, we went into pretty much an entirely new mini season, which yes, this meta isn't my favorite. I'm not going to say it's the best meta of all time. There's definitely items that I would take out and change if I could, but it's far from the worst. And last season, or I should say the last update of this season, when we had exotics, mythics, that was different. Everyone was begging for them to change that one as well. And like Pete just said, and Poyo also touched on the background saying like you were having fun, and then Poyo says, oh, you were enjoying Crime City season because you had a one-pump shotgun. Pete had a one-pump shotgun 2 weeks ago. He had the mythic havoc every game and the exotic spaz basically every game. So that's not it. I just think a lot of people are burnt out right now. We had 3 huge FNCS majors, the last one right into globals, big globals, come back. The hype of having a new game mode, switching to duos and who's playing with who and all that that picked the vibes up a little bit, but eventually that has to run out. And you need these boring times. These boring times are fine. It's what makes the new times so exciting. From a competitive standpoint, we're about to go into a chapter with 4 LAN events. There is no way next year is not going to be phenomenal. So right now, I think if you aren't enjoying Fortnite, take a break. You're not missing anything. Yeah, the tournament format isn't the greatest. The solo cash cups are really hard to earn it if you're an average player. The div cups get a little bit repetitive, but that's fine. Just take a break. It's okay to do so. You're not going to completely fall off. The game's not going to just change while you're gone. Come back when you enjoy it, refreshed and energized. That goes for the pros as well. Mr. Savage is about to take a week off, and a lot of people freaking out. You don't have a duo. You know, you can't even qualify for finals with Scroll. You know, you're falling off and you're taking a break. It's fine. Now's the time to take a break. I saw people on Twitter going at Clicks for not streaming as much this month, saying that he's lost passion, he's fallen off. It's just one of those times. Everyone's chilling out a little bit. A lot of these creators like me, like Clicks, like Savage have done this too many times before. It happens every year. You need to have these quiet spots so that when things start going crazy, you're ready for it. There's a reason why the first season of every chapter is one of the best seasons of the chapter. Yes, they are good metas, but it's also because we've gone through the boring period. We've gone through the kind of whatever that goes on with OG and the mini seasons and all that. And then we go into the new season, things matter again, competitive's back, FNCS is going crazy, we're building up to the LAN event, and everyone gets super hype and everyone gets super excited. But if you have that excitement just the whole time, eventually it has to crash. Or people are in the middle of the hyped, exciting times, they're burnt out, they're not enjoying it, and that's where things are a problem. I think if you're not enjoying Fortnite right now, if you think the cash cups suck, if you think the season sucks, all this, that's pretty normal, and I'd kind of expect that. We still have about 3 more weeks to go of this season, and it's a very, very long season. Hopefully, the Simpsons mini season doesn't suck, but I wanted a chance to just talk about the fact that this is totally normal. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. If you think Fortnite's dying, I guess we'll see in 4 months' time. But I've been told this too many times. I've seen this exact trend happen every single year. It's just the end of chapter burnout. It'll be fine. Don't panic. Game's not going anywhere. All right, let's talk about the Div finals. Now, kicking off with EU, we are missing some big teams this week. Not as many big teams as last week. Mustache is back, popping off with Tayson. He made it through. Vanya Swizzy made it through. We had Mongraal qualified to finals, but we are missing a few big teams. Let me address those ones. Firstly, Savage and Scroll. Our first chance to see the new duo, and they didn't play too well. Now, a lot of people are putting this one on Savage individually, saying he didn't play that great, and while I do think Savage definitely could have played better, there were just some issues as a duo that didn't really work that well. Scroll had a few insane solo clutches. He also did qualify to the NA finals, so Scroll was playing pretty well. I think Savage definitely could have played better, but as I was just discussing, I think Savage is just pretty burnt out right now, especially announcing his icon skin, all the huge streams he was doing around that, doing like a 7-day straight stream. I think my man just wants to chill, and he knows he's going away next week, so it is what it is. Will this mess up Savage's duo options? Potentially. Will Scroll find someone else? Most likely, but hopefully he comes back. He's still got options like maybe Upbull or Focus. Maybe Scroll will want to play with him. It's not like Scroll got off stream and was like, yo, Savage sucks. This guy is ass. I'm never playing with you again. I hate you. Like, it was pretty good vibes most of the time throughout. So again, it's not an FNCS season. It's just cash cups. I'm not super panicked, but they didn't qualify. And Savage is going away next week, so I'm guessing they might not be playing together again, but I hope they do. Now, next up, Fred and Pablo. Now, Fredoxy and Pablo have been missing out on a lot of finals, and I am starting to get a little bit concerned. I will say, in their defense, Pablo had to play day 2 on a 60 hertz monitor. His main monitor broke, and he had to borrow his dad's, which is never going to be too great. Fredoxy has also tweeted out that he's going to be taking this week off streaming, which I think is a result of this, whether it just be because he's not enjoying streaming while everyone's giving him a hard time, or if he thinks that streaming is what's making him not perform as well in tournaments. I'm not entirely sure, but a lot of people, again, are kind of confused what's going on. Fred was looking phenomenal coming out of Globals, popped off with Chino. Chino split with him, and then just hasn't found the same success with Pablo. I think both players are phenomenal. They proved that in trios. While I do think this meta is not super well suited to Fredoxy's playstyle specifically, I think Fredoxy himself will admit they can definitely play better, but so far there's been no word of them splitting. Fred and Pablo are both super loyal to each other. Again, Fredoxy pretty much never drops teammates unless someone drops him, as long as he thinks they can do well, and right now, he thinks they can still do well, so we'll see. Trulex and Chicho miss again, another finals. That's 2 in a row. I don't really know what's going on here. I don't really have any extra information, but they have missed out. Thomas and Queasy have now split. Thomas and Queasy, I'm surprised, played together this week. They haven't had too much success, and as we talked about in a previous video, the vibes weren't super great, but Thomas has tweeted out he's looking for a duo, and Queasy is coming to NA. Now, I would get really excited about that if it was FNCS, but Queasy is just visiting. He's just coming for a vacation. He's only going to be here for like a month, but that means he is going to be playing tournaments on NA. So I guess we have to see who Queasy ends up with. I could see Queasy ending up with kind of like maybe like a Curve or a Josh or like a Craze, like a good fighter that maybe doesn't have the best teammate options right now. I don't think we're going to see like a tier 1 team. Like I don't think we're going to see like Cold Drop Ritual to play with Queasy, for example. I don't think anything like that's going to happen, but I do hope Queasy ends up with a solid teammate, and we get to see how Queasy can do on NA. That is going to be fun to watch. As far as who Thomas ends up with, honestly, at this point, I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. And then Mumsy and Sato, who won last week's finals, also unable to make finals this week. So there is a lot of inconsistency from teams that are doing really, really well. You could blame the meta, you could blame the format, but there are some big teams that do really well and then really poorly. It seems to be a common trend right now. Looking at the EU finals map, it's looking like we're going to have a very, very fun finals. We have Sky and Mario switching their drop. They're now dropping on the north split of the map, and they're trying to go up against Yako, Kyrie, and Steady and Damus. They're all trying to grab this extra bit of loot, which should be fun to watch. Chap and Flixie are uncontested at Resistance Base. I hope they do better this week than they did last week. We have Chino Veno uncontested at Dystopia, so despite having a pretty rough off-spawn performance last week, we now get to see what they look like when uncontested, which I think they are one of the favorites to win. Swizzy Vanya are uncontested on their drop. We have a triple contested Mustache Tayson versus Ankido, Robin, and X-Ray and Chris, which is going to be a pretty messy one. Vico and iDrop getting contested over at Canyon against Omexo and Lyrics. I don't know too much about that team. We have Wox and Pixie taking Sky and Marius' old drop at OXR. Hari and Cammy are dropping on the bridge, who I think could do really, really well. For the most part, a lot of our big names are uncontested. Malibuka Panzer down at Kappa. We have Vidil and Rezon dropping Shogun, which is a bit of a weak drop, but as duos, I think they can definitely do some big things out of there as well. We have Akira Kurama, who are dropping at the first order base, or just below the first order base. We have Ping and Kira, who are on first order base. So this finals is looking really stacked, but honestly, I don't know who's going to take it. I think Chap and Flixie will find a lot more success than last week, but I'm not super confident predicting them after how much they struggled. I think Swizzy and Vanya are a big favorite, and Chino Veno. I'd say Swizzy Vanya, Chino Veno, and Hari Kami. Those are my top 3 favorites to do well in this finals, but it is going to be a very, very fun finals to watch. Taking a look at the NA drop map, this finals is about to be spicy. We have so many of our big names uncontested. Ark and Kanata trying to go back-to-back. They're uncon. Pete and Poyo uncontested. We get to see, hopefully, as long as they load into game 1, what they can do with their full 6 games. Muzzenreet trying to look for redemption. They should have had it won last week. Pete ended up keying them in game 6. That messed them up, but this is their chance to now try and win this one. We have Rapid Threats, who are doing really well up until the Masks update. Didn't do too well last week, but could definitely bring it back and start popping off with more experience now. Noxy Mason trying to prove that their tournament wasn't just a fluke with 2nd place last week. AIDS Yomzo also uncontested. Clicks and Higgs at OXR. They were looking super, super motivated. Looked like they were having a lot of fun during the Open, especially with all the traveling. Clicks is done. Now he's not going to be playing on 70 ping, so hopefully that is a big buff to them as well. As far as picking a team that I think will actually win this week, trying to pick 3 is really hard. I think Peter Poyer will do a lot better this week, especially if Pete's not streaming it. Like he said, he's not going to. I can see Pete locking in, refreshing over the next few days, jumping in and destroying this finals. I think Ark and Kanata, I've got definitely coming top 3 as well. And then you know what? I was wrong when I said Muzz and Reed wouldn't work well as a duo. I love that those people as players and as individuals, but I did not think they'd work well as a duo, and I was proven so wrong. So I'm just going to put them top 3. Muzz and Reed been playing crazy at Opens. They're looking really, really good. That's my top 3. That leaves out some big names though. No Noxy, no Rapid, no Ages. I could be very wrong here. We do have some big spawn fights to watch out for as well. Epic Whale and Pump versus Ritual and Cold yet again at Dystopia. If Ritual and Cold can start winning some of those spawn fights, I think they can go on and have a really, really good tournament, but they're just not getting off spawn consistently enough. Then we have Acorn and Bolts versus Skittles and Chimp over at Supernova. I think they're going to fight a little bit more this week than straight up splitting it. We have Booga making another finals yet again, going up against Taki yet again, but they now have Shadow and Tyler, who's going to try and drop on the West, and then third party this one. I also think Noisy Tony versus Dash and Cam. While neither player team I think will go on to do particularly well in the finals after spawn fight, I think that spawn fight itself could be really, really fun to watch though.